Hello and welcome to the February edition of UNITAR News. Today's headlines are: UNITAR showcased some of its flagship activities on climate change at COP15. Also, UNITAR will open a new representative office in Brazil later this year. Later in our broadcast, we will report on UNITAR promoting learning and civilian protection within the framework of its program on peacekeeping training. Now we will feature UNISAT's support to the humanitarian community after the earthquake that devastated Haiti. Upon request by several agencies, UNITAR has mobilized the UNISAT program to support immediate response and early recovery planning with several satellite-derived maps analysis to facilitate the emergency response in Haiti. UNISAT provided maps on initial damages immediately after the earthquake and submitted additional imagery on infrastructural blockages and internally displaced people. UNITAR would also like to pay tribute to Haiti and Nabi and the other dedicated UN personnel that have lost their lives in this catastrophic earthquake. In other news, UNITAR showcased some of its flagship activities at the 2009 UN Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen. During the 2 weeks of the conference, UNITAR showcased its key role in addressing the climate change challenges from a capacity development perspective. The major highlight of the Institute during COP15 was the launch of the One UN Training Service Platform for Climate Change, or UNCC Learn. Launched in cooperation with other UN agencies, this platform seeks to foster knowledge sharing and strengthening climate change learning, as well as developing skills of UN member states through a One UN approach. Now we turn our attention to a new UNITAR representative office that will be opening in Brazil later this year. UNITAR signed an agreement with the Brazilian government to open a representation office in Brazil in 2010. Located in Brasilia, the office will use the premises of the Brazilian School of Public Administration, ENAP. On the 17th of November 2009, UNITAR, the Brazilian Ministry of Planning, ENAP, and the Brazilian Cooperation Agency have signed a cooperation agreement to develop the capacity of Brazilian civil servants. The Institute will provide its expertise to develop executive training and innovative learning products to support Brazil's government projects, as well as enhancing South-South cooperation. Along with ENAP, UNITAR will be responsible for defining the content and formats of training activities to respond to the needs of Brazilian civil servants and beneficiaries in partner countries. Finally, we present a report on UNITAR promoting learning and civilian protection within the framework of its program on peacekeeping training. On the 13th of November 2009, UNITAR organized a conference entitled "Is Protection of Civilians Given Enough Priority?" The topic was chosen to be discussed on the occasion of the 48th session of the UNITAR Board of Trustees. Over the last decades, it has been acknowledged that violent conflicts and war affect more and more civilian populations. Mass killings, rapes, tortures, and displacements are some of the daily realities of countless civilians. Panelists included Ms. Radha Kumar, Director of the Mandela Center for Peace and Conflict Resolution in Delhi, India; Ms. Anne Kristen Sidnes, former Norwegian Minister of International Cooperation and Director at Norwegian Church Aid; Andrew Clapham, Professor of Public International Law and Director of the Geneva Academy for International Humanitarian Law and Human Rights; and Jacques Forrester, Professor and Vice President of the International Committee of the Red Cross. All speakers pointed to the critical needs of fostering awareness in the field of civilian protection. Since 2009, UNITAR has been developing a comprehensive training program on civilian protection for candidates to peacekeeping missions. This is the end of the February edition of UNITAR News. Reporting from Geneva, Switzerland, I am Clintandra Thompson. Thank you for watching. This broadcast has been brought to you by the United Nations Institute for Training and Research and student volunteers from the University of Geneva.